Go ahead. I think that's about it. Thank you for hydrating, by the way. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Yay!
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
throw on a marker here. Where last we left our kindred, our coterie of vampires, they had just completed something of a monumental task. They had managed to cross from the city of London, over the Atlantic Ocean, into the New World, with scantly a mortal less than a dozen mortals dying aboard their ship. One or two by their hands. But all in all, eventful but light on casualty journey. The Masquerade, the defense system that keeps vampires protected, mostly unbroken. There was some supernatural goings on, and one mortal knows about it, but they're in your employ, so most kindred would let that slide. But of the utmost importance, you are as far from your creators as any kindred has ever been. An ocean separates each of you from the ancient, powerful vampires whose blood courses through your veins. For our Malkavians, it means a strange silence, interrupted only by the power of great and well-honed disciplines. For our Lasombra and our definitely not an Azamite, totally a Bruja, it means freedom. No outside force to bring you to heal. Opportunity, unfettered possibility is at your claws as you take your first steps off the boat. The rocking of the sea in the harbor still swaying in your bones as you step upon the docks. Thereon, you encountered two members of the local community. Benjamin Cameron, the town mayor, recently elected, and Gabor Vorman, the leader of the militia and former colonial manager. Mr. Cameron, Mayor Cameron, has invited you all to an event in 2 nights at his estate. A lovely manor at the peak of the cliff overlooking the harbor, opposite of the lighthouse. Besides that, the city of Vrijehaven and beyond are yours to explore and claim dominion over. Welcome to the New World, kindred. May it service you well. And that's the end of the starting speech. So if anyone would like to do some stuff, you just had your conversation with Benjamin Cameron. He and Mr. Vorman are being a bit of a treat as the dock workers who are here, they're not beginning to unload your ship or anything like that. It's too late in the evening for such a thing. They are making sure it's moored down, making sure the anchor's in place, coordinating with the bosun and some other gentlemen to make sure there's nothing urgently needing tending to about the boat. As a good half the sailors are departing from the ship to go into town and spend their pay. Have a good, relaxing time. Drink, eat, be merry, that sort of thing. much of your followers, the colonists who came with you, are probably spending their last nights on the ship before going out and dispersing amongst the colony, going to plans they set about before arriving, or looking for new work, or to such various corners of the winds. I know several of you have herds amongst the population that are more or less waiting for your approval of what to do. Those who
Oh,
happen
that.
to plan to stay in the town or directly follow you into some sort of a plan or the other.
Yeah, Evelyn's going to
Uh,
be staying one more night on the ship, and I'm going to check in with Mary as well, see what her plans are.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta warn Lila about them burning girls, burning women, Sasia being witch.
Okay. So, Kemutai, you hurry back aboard the ship. Is there anything else anyone else would like to do? So I could cue things up.
Is the church that's here, is it still open at this hour?
At this point, it's only been sundown for like an hour. It's late spring, early fall. I'd say, what's a good month for this? I'd say May. So it's early in the evening. The sun has just gone down about an hour ago. So they'd still be open. They might not have service right now. It's about, I'd say, 8 in the evening.
Yeah, I might go visit them, see what it's about.
Okay. So everyone is going to go to the church. Because of course they will. Kim is going to go talk to the witch. Benedict, Christoph, how about you guys?
Benedict will be familiarizing himself with the town. Like, just take a walk around.
Mm-hmm. Go for a bit of a wander.
Yeah.
Christoph, how about you?
Christoph would go check in with Francois first to see what kind of plans or what had they have thought of so far as far as what they're gonna do on this side. Then afterwards hit a tavern or something for information.
Okay. Uh-huh. Let me grab a D4. And we'll see who we follow first. That's third on the list, Benedict. We go for a wander. You head up the
Yippee.
docks and up a sort of winding wooden set of stairs, almost like a boardwalk. Um, the town is built atop of a the beach is sort of sloping down. It's about, I'd say, 30 feet from the harbor to where the actual town itself starts. About 10 meters for those of us who use metric. Um, the beach slopes down that far, like the side of a hill, and then there's these large cliff faces that surround it in this open harbor, this sort of bowl. The boardwalk has a long ramp that leads to this flattened out area of docks, which is a bit above the surf. So that's, you're about 10 feet above the water, 20 feet below the town, and then you sort of wind your way up. The town itself is quaint. It's not huge. About a mile across from one point to the other. As you just begin to move your way through the streets. Some are paved with large, irregular shaped rocks, the ballasts of previous ships that have anchored here, or the castaway of various. One second, let me just find the right background here. Castaways of various shipping stones, or like from a local quarry or what have you. as you begin to wander around. It's still active this time of night. People going to and from small businesses, the bustle of taverns. It's refreshing. You remember this sort of sensation when you came to the Philippines, to the old world, to the Europe, of having been cramped up on a boat for so long, of getting used to the quiet and the sloshing of the sea and the sounds of coughing and people cramped in on themselves, and the distant sound of someone retching, to a quiet hum of activity. It's nice. Is there anything you're looking for in particular while you wander the town?
Since you mentioned that it's pretty active for a night at a town, I want to try to listen if there's anything shady, like maybe a black market to sell a particular sword at.
Hmm. Are you going to ask about this or just keep an ear to the wind?
Keep an ear.
Give me a wits plus. It's not gonna be perception, or is it? No, because that's a mental. You stop playing this game for 1 week. Wits plus awareness, or this is gonna be wits plus streetwise.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Damn.
Benedict, you don't hear anything about smuggling rings or criminal coteries or thieves' guilds as you wander about. You do find a nice tavern, though, directly adjacent to the city market. If I take you back to the map, or actually just open up the map in your handouts, the Vrijehaven map key, it's number 3, the Darrow Public House, which overlooks the
Oh.
town market. It's tucked away between between a set of buildings. Each of these big blocks is just a set of buildings. A few of them is pushed up together against each other. A few with tiny little snaking alleyways and little breaks between buildings so windows can get air in them. But this is just tucked away in the corner of the market, a one lone standing building between a crush of other ones and the dozens and dozens of market stalls. It's open, it's lively, and you poke your head inside. It's already overrun with familiar faces at this point. Oh, that's the wrong familiar face. That's from a while ago.
Oh no! It's a little too familiar.
That's a little too familiar, especially given what you were trying to get rid of. It's already full of familiar faces. Sailors, for the most part. A few members of your herd. It seems this is one of the more active bars in town. They're playing music, something on the accordion, something jaunty, something upbeat. And yeah, it's a hum and a buzz of activity as you make your way inside.
Oh. I head inside and I want to talk to how many members of my herd would you say there are there?
About 5. They've picked up a booth.
Okay, I want to approach them.
They look up and greet you. Generate a random name real fast here. Yeah, they greet you. One of them looks up to you. His name is Jones. Connor Jones.
Mm.
Ah, Mr. Benedict. Good to see you. Looking to stretch your legs after that long trip, eh?
Hey there. Yeah, it's been such a long time since we've stepped on land. How are you all doing?
There's a bit of a incomprehensible, like, cheers slash, yeah, no, we're doing great sort of noise coming out from them as they all lift their glasses. One of them speaks up, says, just glad to have land under our feet again.
Isn't that right? Now, what are your plans now that you've arrived here?
A few of them volunteer things, laborer jobs. One of them thinks they'll join the town militia. A few people here are here specifically to work in the mills because they've heard this town has a large enough like lumber industry. Mr. Jones himself speaks up, says, "Well, town's got a lot of lumber, and he used to work in a lumber mill back in the North Country, so figured I'd be doing that. Plus, I hear they got a lot of jobs at the docks, boatswains. I hear they're trying to put together actual, what you call it? Not a port, not a dry dock. A harb, not a. It's in a thing in the har. They're trying to start make boats here.
I see. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're all getting busy. Now, how about if I make a proposal? He puts his hand on the table to try to get everyone's attention.
They pay attention.
Are any of you
Okay.
are any of you interested in procuring fame through boxing?
Sir, that's all. That's like a lot of us signed up for your. They do a couple jabs in the air. In the ship. It's good defense, but
That's my plan for this place. Once we've settled in, how about we set up a few exhibition shows? Maybe set up a pay-per-view for the people here of this town. I'll get a better hold of how their customs are here, and we'll see if we could make money out of that.
like start an actual boxing club and put on matches.
Exactly.
Some mumbling. A couple of people. Roll me charisma plus leadership.
Okay. Charisma plus leadership. Ooh-wee, okay. Where? Yeah. How bad could it possibly be?
You never say that. Well, you succeeded because the 10.
Nice. I'm starting to wait over you.
As you say that, one person in the room's ears seem to prick up. Let me find a portrait real fast. There we go. I can't do that on this. Yeah. I have to keep remembering that on the main screen, the one that I'm streaming, I can't actually add anything because that's not a DM window. Roll20 weirdness. This gentleman pops up behind you. They got a platter of beers on one hand and a rag sort of tucked into the belt on the other. Excuse me, if you don't mind me interrupting. Did I hear you're gonna start a boxing ring, eh?
That's right.
Funny. Boxing's good entertainment. You might want to talk to the mayor about that. He's all about the high culture and shit. Might actually have a stipend for you to start something like that.
Well, thank you very much.
Solomon Darrow, by the way. You're in my tavern.
Nice to meet you. My name is Benedict. Benedict Flores. He reaches out to shake his hand. Do they shake hands in this era?
They do. He gives you a hearty handshake. Pleasure.
Could you point me out to the directions as to where the mayor resides?
Biggest house in the city, up on that peak over there. Bit up his own ass, but, not that much of a prick when you get to know him.
Thank you very much. I'll be getting to that as soon as I'm finished up here, thank you.
Yeah, if you'd like, I could put word out that someone's looking to start a boxing club. Plenty of folks set down at the docks or former sailor types living around here. And a lot of, argument, settling is done with your fists when you're a Navy man.
That is just perfect. Yes, I would appreciate that. Then he looks over to his herd at the booth. And you as well. Try to get the word out.
They all nod and rumble amongst themselves. It's like, oh yeah, we'll try and put a good word in for this brand new boxing ring once we finish settling into the town. Yeah.
All right, good lads. I'll be heading off now. I still have other things to do. And then he excuses himself.
You are not stopped on your way back out. With that, I will be, however, switching over to another character. That's a 4, so we're going to cut over to Kristoff. Kristoff, you find Francois on the deck of the ship, staring out over into the town, just sort of with a bit of a pensive look on his face.
He would approach them down to the railing. I'm assuming they're like on the well, just approach them, just bump them on the shoulder, like, what's on your mind?
There's the future and everything.
Yeah, I know.
We have gotten away from some very powerful, dangerous beings, but now I must consider everything else. Part of me wants to find passage north to Quebec and Montreal. How you say? You know that I am from a family of some note and regard, yes?
Yes, I do recall the fact.
Well, we are in Dutch territory. Dutch titles don't carry much weight around here. They got rid of their nobility ages ago. Republics and all that.
Well, wouldn't stop you if you do decide to go that route. In fact, kind of came here to ask what you were thinking of, anyways. Because, again, I know I kind of dragged you here. For your vanity, nonetheless, you would have probably been dead by now.
No, I'm well aware of that. I've seen things that you're capable of, and see ourselves. I wouldn't expect a woman like Evelyn to be able to handle a weapon like she can, which is no doubt a factor of your blood and condition.
Who knows, you might Been really good with the thing beforehand. But yeah, as I said on back in London, you're free to do your own thing. Just didn't want you to die a pointless death. Just let it be known that, well,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
sticking off a little while at least. I heard a few things about the town on the trip over. You know, decent that from the captain. And overland journey to Quebec. Mm, it's not cheap. Dangerous as well. And there's not going to be a ship going there for who knows how long. If ever. So, I will be aware my options. At least I can still make sure that the letters get back to the continent.
well, sounds like a plan. Just could definitely. Well, new area. Well, whole new world, you could say. Could still use a familiar hand.
If you want to ask
And
me
hey,
to stick around, Christophe, ask me to stick around, eh? We don't need to beat around the bush like we're in some high fancy court.
hey, I genuinely wanted to know what you were thinking of. Come on.
Yeah. If I wanted to hear debutantes and ladies of the court gossiping around like ends, I would have stayed at home and stuck with my sisters. I'm a man of
Alrighty.
action. I wanted to adventure and to kill evil things. That's why I joined our ill-fated expedition. And then this expedition. Who knows? Maybe there are dragons in the woods and I'll go slay them like a proper prince, eh?
Oh, hey, new world. Cool. Might shut up. Might showing up.
Ghosts and vampires are real. Who says dragons are not?
That's the spirit. Well, rather have them not be real, but yeah. Who knows? That said, hey, who know? Once we do set up some sort of foothold around here and start bringing some some income, I might help you. Could help you fund that trip in the end, if you really wanted to. If you end up deciding to make it, that is.
I would appreciate the help setting up a new life considering how the old one ended.
Yeah. Funny. You could say it's the third time for me.
Yeah, benefits of being immortal, no? Start over again very often.
Really rather not. But one does not get to choose that sort of thing.
I'll take notes. You seem to be actually considering the frequency of you having to start again. Maybe I shouldn't. You don't seem to be very good at settling a stable life.
That would be a serious understatement. But hey, that's the car that I got in life. So just gotta do our best with what we get, or so they say.
It is an Italian saying, but, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, it will be. No?
Kind of like that. Don't mind if I use it later. Well, better start scouting the area, see what we're working with.
If you find any place that is open and has good food, let me know. I have had far too much out deck for a lifetime.
Sure thing. This shouldn't be that hard. Well, shouldn't be that hard to feed leftovers, but yeah, will do.
With that, we're going to high low. As you head into the town, we're going to cut over to Evelyn, who at this point has made their way to the large central church.
Hmm.
I'm going to bring over to the map again real fast, just to point it out. It's this entire square building. It is one of the largest buildings in town, and it's certainly the tallest, as it is a large stone structure with a steeple and tower. The only thing that's probably the same size as it would be the lighthouse. Actually, the lighthouse is taller. It's also at a higher vantage.
Hmm.
But the steeple to the church itself is a good 5-6 stories tall. A large brass bell can be seen hanging from its top as you head inside. It is not so active. There are a few people taking evening prayer here and there. Individuals for the most part, no major large groups or anything like that. Though you do see someone standing in front of the altar, currently speaking to a member of their congregation. They are probably in their 30s, maybe their early 40s. A bit hard to tell with mortals in this era, especially with the stresses of long distance oceanic travel. Blonde, graying hair. Decent build. They're looking at their vestments. They don't seem to be a Catholic priest.
Hmm.
Eventually,
I'll
the
sort of,
conversation. Go ahead.
I'll sort of look around a little, not like, actively, just kind of like stand to one side and kind of admire the architecture, I guess.
As you go about and look around, it is a decently large space. It looks like it could fit most of what this town looks to have in terms of like congregation. It is, to your taste, a bit Spartan.
Hmm.
You mostly spent your times in the cathedrals of France, yes?
Yes.
Ever make your way to Italy and see the grand cathedrals there?
Yeah.
Well, then you are used to beautiful displays of stained glass, dynamic, high Renaissance, and early Rococo sculptures, the interplay of light, the dynamic fluidity of motion, the near perfect anatomy and representation of the human form in statues, paintings, um, cloistered little shrinelets, all manner of ornamentation. But this is sparse. There are no shrines to the saints. There are a few altars and like little racks where people can burn candles and offer prayers. And there is no large singular cross hanging from the ceiling or anything like that. There's just a single, nice silver crucifix sitting upon the altar. And that's about largely it. You don't even see stained glass in the position of the Stations of the Cross on the walls.
Hmm.
Very Spartan. Yes, that's the word, Spartan. Eventually, you do hear the clacking of shoes against the ground as the gentleman who is speaking to a member of his congregation comes towards you. Greetings. Who might you be?
Good
Your
evening.
new face.
Yes, I've just come into port. I'm Sister Patricia, Patricia, if you prefer.
Sister Patricia. Pardon me if I sound a bit rude, but you don't have the complexion of an Irishwoman, and I do believe that sister implies you're a nun.
Yes, I took my name from Saint Patricia of Constantinople.
Ah, there we are. Most of the patties I know come from the Emerald Isle, but that explains it all in one go. You're a nun.
Yes, originally from France.
Lovely that. Lovely that. Hopefully doesn't make this meeting particularly awkward or nothing. Once again, when I check this gentleman's name, your DM is loading. He extends a hand. Well, he extends a hand. Vicar Johannes Brumpt.
I'll take his hand, put my hand on his or whatever's appropriate.
You exchange the correct pleasantry of greeting. Considering Evelyn's background, you know vicar is a term reserved for members of Protestant religious organizations.
What was the name, Vicar?
Vicar Johannes Brumpt. I could type it out if you would like.
I made an approximation.
Thumbs up.
Very good to meet you, the Vicar Brumpt.
I didn't know the Vatican had eyes towards this part of the new continent. Unless this is a more personal mission.
Well, I am not officially sent from the church, but I felt a calling. I felt called to this land and these people.
He nods. Well, it's always good to have someone else of the faith around. Don't get me wrong, we have a perfectly devout flock here.
Yes. Wonderful to see that there's already a very sturdy house of worship.
Well, he's the Lord. We should make sure he has a good house.
Quite so.
First few months we were here, we were preaching out of the back end of the same longhouse that the natives have to set up. I think they regretted that. Haven't really come around since. Well, on and off trade here and there. They keep their distance, though.
Have they been taught of God?
Well,
I am not familiar with their religion.
You could hardly call it a religion, really. I've made overtures, and there have been offers, trade, mutuality. I haven't made it my mission or nothing. I'm mostly here for the folk who come here to live. But it's strange. We didn't have to buy the land off them or nothing. They just drew up a map in the dirt and said, this is about as far out as you go. It was further out than we wanted to go. And haven't had much chatter with them. Although, have been rumblings lately. Is that why you're here?
I'm here for all of God's people.
Of course. Well, I don't have a convent or nothing set up. If you
How
need
is the education of the young?
Oh, it's going fine enough. We've got actually a few youngins who were born here the last few years. I think the oldest is about 14. Most of them are being taught by their parents, but they come here, and in the afternoons I teach them their letters.
Very good. I suppose their parents are teaching them their professions, their crafts.
Such trade crafts, yes. That and homemaking for the girls.
Very good.
Though, frankly, in a place like this, everyone has to learn a little bit of the wilderness.
Well, you have roads between the towns?
Town is a big word. How much do you tell me this? How much do you know about Vrijehaven? And I'll fill in what you don't.
Mostly Dutch settlement, I believe.
A bit more cosmopolitan than that, but we were founded by the Dutch, myself included.
I see.
New Netherlands and all that, but you'll find a mix of Dutch, Swedish, German, English, few French. Same language is spoken, though most people understand French and English. Dutch is a primary for many. We got a lot coming in and out of the port. All places. One of the biggest restockers in the region. For food, at least. Keeps us busy.
You supply food? There's good farming land here?
Breadbasket of the New World, it seems. There's about, what are they? He strokes his chin for a bit. 4 or 5 outlying towns that all produce food. Gronbert, up the road. Bloodland Bend, Fantasia, Easton Cliffs. Then there's us. Small farms here and there, big ones, small ones, big gardens. What we don't keep for ourselves, which is a lot, gets put on ships for sailors going back the other direction.
I see. Well, it seems a stable place. This is good news. I wasn't entirely certain what to expect in the new world.
Well, they say here be dragons, but well, we gotten past that part of the water, eh? It's not all pleasantries, though, but I'm guessing you just arrived? I heard someone running in town saying something about a ship.
Yes, we arrived on the ship tonight. Is there any thing I should be forewarned about?
He scratches at his chin a little bit. Do you plan on leaving town with any great haste?
No.
Well. How much of the local riffraff are you looking to get involved in? Because there's a bit of a feud going on between some local standouts.
Well, I was hoping to minister to the people and perhaps reach some of the native people if they're amenable and eventually set up a convent, but That will take time.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're gonna preach about unity, there's the Norfolks and the Strokes. They're in a bit of a row about a horse.
The horse.
A horse, of course.
Ownership dispute?
The Strokes say they what was it? Uh, the Norfolks bought a prize horse to be studied, and they say the Strokes, this the Norfolks were selling the Strokes a studding horse, and they say they made off with it without paying. The Strokes say that they were paid ahead of time, and the horse died on the way back to the road. So, whole bunch of money all over a dead horse.
I see.
Nothing's coming to blows yet, but the glares. We don't have a judge in town yet, so nothing to be doing about that, and the mayor doesn't particularly care about the nonsense. So long as it doesn't come to blows. Issue is, the Strokes and the Norfolks are both fairly wealthy families. Also, no one likes the patriarch of the Strokes, Walter. A rascal bastard.
He's abrasive? What is the concern?
Grumpy old prick. Bit of a drunk, too. Voiced off most of his work on his son Hansel.
I see. Perhaps I can discuss the situation with any of them who are amenable to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did ask.
Thank you.
No, there was one other thing.
Yes?
The roads between here and some of the towns further to the south, well, I mentioned the natives had been giving us a wide berth until recently. There have been reports on the roads of some of the native Delaware tribe killing merchants, looting and pillaging. It's odd. They've been peaceful until now. Guess someone must have pissed them off.
What methods do they have? They have weaponry?
Bows, arrows, knives.
And they're killing people, but there were witnesses to account?
The witnesses and survivors do say that there were men with dark skin and Indian markings come up the foothills, firing off weapons and shouting, waving torches, kill all who weren't driving off, and then when they come back to the wreck, everything was stolen.
And this was not beyond the point that was agreed upon?
No.
I see.
Common roads.
Do you have anyone in the town who speaks the language of the natives, or do the natives speak any European languages?
Well, before they got a bit standoffish, they'd come in every few months, trade here or thither. A few of them I did manage to teach a bit of English. Took to that better than the Dutch, unfortunately.
I see. Well, I will be cautious, thank you.
He nods.
Well, I shall leave you to your work. I have things to arrange. back on the ship.
Well, if you need God's house, he just sort of does a shrug and like gestures to the building that you're both in.
Hmm. She's gonna sort of turn and then turn back and say, "Are you in need of anything?" Kind of glance around the area.
More Bibles. Don't have a paper mill out here.
I've certainly brought copies, as that was my mission to bring God's word. I can bring some by. How many would you like?
What could be spared?
Very well. Do you not consider more adornment?
Ah, our particular brand. You're not familiar with the 37 treaties, are you?
No.
Idolatry is considered a sin. So, depictions of saints, figures, that sorts of thing, large expenditures of wealth.
You keep no saints?
Oh, we do. It's just gathering large sums of money for people in exchange for going to heaven is important. So we spend the money elsewhere where it's better used than, statues and paintings. God's name is glorious enough, it doesn't need embellishing.
Well, I understand that point of view, I suppose. I had never considered it in such a light. The art that lights the cathedrals is full to enjoy, all worshippers to see the glory of God and the pure love of the artist poured into their work. She's looking kind of confused.
And I agree, it's owned by the church. And wealth can do a lot of things to a man's mind. I don't mean to get into a whole debate about this, but considering how many wars were fought over it. But neither of us are the Pope. What does it matter?
Is there a religion of this land? An official sect?
So your DM has not done enough research into Protestant sects in the New World to give you a direct answer.
It's kind of basically asking, like, do you have a king that's gonna behead me for being Catholic?
Oh, no, not at all. He is basic. Until you showed up, he was probably the highest religious authority in the area. And the colony has a governor, but they're not here. The highest temporal authority would be the mayor who you met on the docks earlier. And he'll just say in character, honestly, if you wanted to set up anything, the mayor would probably be fine with it. The man is not a being of the spirit. They're not a bad man. They're a man who has had wealth do things to them. Those things include wanton desire for finery. But I don't think he's an indulgent wastrel or anything like that, so I can't look down my nose at him too much.
Well, someone must be concerned with earthly affairs, I suppose.
Indeed. I just think we need a city hall more than we need an opera house.
Well, you can consider me to be on your side in terms of wishing for amenities for the people. And not only the affluent.
Quite right, then.
Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
To you as well. All right.
Oh, Jesus, Abs, what? Not even one?
Not a six-pack to be seen for miles.
Oh my god. What are we doing here? I have to go back. I'm going to Korea. See ya.
We gotta fund this tattoo ourselves.
We need to sculpt a stat.
3 sessions later. So let me get this straight. You want to put a giant statue of Jesus with a bazillion ab muscles on the town lighthouse?
Uh-huh.
Mary and Jesus specifically.
Right. Speaking of madness in Asia, hi, Kamrutai.
Oh, we're gonna run to Lila and just knock on her door. Lila!
So let me take us back to 10 minutes. You find Lila in her bedroom. She unlocks the door and has you step over the salt pile as she's gotten most of her things packed up.
Lila! I heard horrible news. The burning girls. They caught her dancing in the forest, and they're burning her.
What?
Yes! Apparently people here burn women, suspicious medical women too.
Oh, son of a fucking bitch.
I know! I'm scared. I'm scared for you too.
Get away from all that bullshit, and that's something I follows you, son of a whore!
What if you stay in the city for now? Does the city seem safer? Apparently, I think it's connected to a smaller village because where they burn it is outside of this area.
When you say outside this area, do you mean like the next town over or the next colony over?
The next town over.
Well, shite. Frankly, I was just planning to go off into the fucking woods and vanish. Get that's off the fucking table.
Yeah. Why don't you stay with us for now? You'll be safer. Until, like, we are more used to this land and then we can decide.
You're being honest with her, right?
Yes.
You're telling her what you think is the truth, right?
Yes.
Well, do you have any strongholds of anti-witch burning set up?
So, the mayor of this town, he offered us to stay at his place. Maybe I'm thinking about perhaps infiltrate there or settle somewhere else within this town first until we know more about this place. But mayor's town seems like a really reasonably safe place.
The mayor's place, huh? That would be, probably a lot better than sleeping in here. I was planning on doing a survey, finding the lines and finding a node. But it was as dangerous as you say. A day or two of caution, scouting things out, finding what's going on, couldn't hurt.
That's right. I'm afraid to. I'll probably stick with the group for some times. People, why do they do this? Why?
Do you want to know, or do you want to know?
Apparently, I think I know, but I still don't get it.
Well, for one, there's the common basis of idiots wanting to control other idiots, and fear and terror of that is which is not understood. There's also the Inquisition. Bunch of idiots and bastards working with other idiots and bastards, attempting to stomp out rival sects of magic to control the shape of the destiny of reality.
Yeah, I think we should take a look at the religious band here too. Maybe they I hope they're not like Father Murdoch.
Shit.
Yeah. Maybe I'll drop by like the religious stronghold here later and survey their minds, see if they're anything like that. But I'll keep you updated, okay?
You do. I guess I'm sleeping on the fucking boat tonight.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll bother you no more. I'll tag along with the group for now. But yes, I'll give you update. You stay safe, okay? The ship should be safe.
Hoping that it is.
I'm gonna run back to the group.
You run back to where the group was, and they have all split up.
Look around. Anybody I know that I can stick to?
Kristoff is at this point leaving the ship to probably go find a bar.
Anybody in my line of sight?
Yeah, Kristoff, because you have crazy good vision.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna run to Kristoff. Kristoff, wait!
Huh?
Maybe tag along. Just follow like a lost kitten.
Sure. Thing.
Where are you going?
Well, just finding a place to eat. I told that to someone. That and gathering some info.
Oh, let me come along then.
Well, suit yourself.
But Kristoff, you wanted to find like a local tavern or pub.
Yep.
Give me a wits and streetwise.
Could have sort of had more of that, but sure.
Okay. Well, you also find your way to the same pub that Benedict ended up at. Oh, you're wrong. The what did I call it again? It was the Darrow Public House, an inn tucked into the corner of town in the town market. It is at this point still fairly busy. Again, just a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just about as busy as it was when Benedict came in. Yeah, let me change the map real fast. The sort of ambient background.
People. I'm gonna hide behind Kristoff.
Again, a large amount of the faces here are familiar. As you just spent a long amount of time with them on board a boat. Though this is the first time you've seen new humans in a while, after making your way to the town itself. The town itself, at this point, still a little busy, still having a mild amount of foot traffic as people are going to and from their work in the evening to their homes, or perhaps to a common house or an ale house to get a drink or some food.
Lovely place, huh? Well, let's see what we got. approaches the counter, just looking around, see if there's any spot open still.
Oh, there's at the counter. There's enough spot for the space for you and Kemutai to grab a chair if you like. Until this point, no one was really getting attention brought to them, but the man in the breastplate and the woman in very fine red silk entering the room get eyes on them immediately.
Just gonna step away from the line of sight and let the man in the breastplate take all the attention.
Or we just walk in, just paying no attention, just to the bar. Counter.
One moment. This gentleman appears behind the bar, looks at you, and says, "Well, suppose you're... Well, I know that you're new in town. I'd recognize your faces. Didn't know that I don't know, the Spanish was it. But that the conquistadors were in town?
No. No. No, nothing to do with those. Yeah, new in town. Just looking for a good place to eat. The boat trip was interesting to say the least.
Heard a thing or two about that. Looking for food then, and no drink.
Feels like it would be a crime for me not to drink while we're at it too.
And your friend?
Hello.
Uh,
I don't eat. I don't really eat in the evening, so don't worry about me.
Someone to drink then?
Perhaps water.
Right.
Thank you.
I'll read his mind.
Go ahead and try it. You do. I believe that's still service thoughts.
Yes.
You get flashes of imagery and the general impression of like, this lady is fucking weird. It's dinner time. Why? What the fuck? Then again, she looks weird. I'm not seeing a person that looks like that ever. Been on that boat longer than everyone else, I guess. Whatever. And then his thoughts and his words sort of come into one as he turns to Kristoff. Right, in terms of food, we've got... I can get some bread and cheese, we got a stew, drinks, we've got beer, cider, a couple bottle of wines here and there.
just keep it simple. Just the bread and cheese and just some beer.
He heads to the back. About a minute later, he comes out with a wooden bowl and a wooden spoon, a platter of crusty bread and cheese. It is a thin broth with cubes of probably like hare and rabbit, with like garden vegetables in it. Probably boiling on the pot. This might be one of those perpetual soups, where, every day you drop in what you take out. Carrot, garlic, what else will be in there? Carrot, garlic, little, like, barley dumplings, like mashed barley dough, and tiny little chunks of gamey meat floating around in it. The broth itself is rich and meaty in flavor. The cheese is probably a locally produced cheddar equivalent, and the bread is crusty, equivalent of sourdough.
Well, the Christoph will dig in as the player is definitely feeling that description.
Mm-hmm. It tastes good. It tastes rustic. It tastes like pub food. Um, the beer is decent. Nothing to write home about, especially for someone of German descent. But it goes well with the bread, and it washes down the soup fine.
Well, he was digging in, just directed to the bartender still. I know. Apart from the Spanish Inquisition, anything going on in the town?
Mm, not really. A couple of richer folks getting into arguments about each other. A few people still angry about the election. Local tribes hit trade caravan about a week ago. Honestly, your boat
Oh,
coming in here is the biggest news.
anybody injured in the caravan?
Injured? No. Dead? Many. From what I
Huh?
hear. Hmm.
What? Why did they attack? What they attacked by?
The Indians.
Indians?
They killed everyone who didn't run and stole everything that wasn't nailed down. Which was everything, considering it was on a cart. Yeah, folks going south out of town, to, you know, settle stuff. That are coming in, I don't remember which direction they were going. So they were going on the roads, and out of the hills came the bastards and killed them. It's
Oh
weird.
no.
There have been reports all over the place here and there of fights with the natives, territorial squabbles, that sort of thing. But this is as violent as it's gotten, as close as it's been. And they've mostly left us alone.
That's horrible. Has anybody tried to talk to them why they do that?
He shrugs. No one's gotten really up to themselves to go into the woods and ask why a bunch of murderers did some murder. No. Although I hear that the oh, I was gonna call him the mayor. One second, let me double check a name. Well, I hear Vorman is looking to get together a militia to solve the problem. He's been saying this thing's been overdue for a while, and well, it's a shame these murders didn't happen before we chose a new mayor. Might have had the right guy
Huh.
in charge. But that's just me.
And when then it is a good thing that the Spanish Inquisition arrived when it did, don't you say?
If you're the adventuring type looking to go out into the woods and have a chat with a bunch of savages, sure. Perfect timing.
Well, wouldn't be the first time.
Works an eyebrow at that. Now do you pick this one up?
Hmm?
You said that wouldn't be the first time. The first time where you picked this one up? Looks at Chem.
Hmm?
I wouldn't call them savage. In fact, uh, not sure. Well, as far as the Thinking more of like a cleanup after a really rudely dived after a tavern, if you know what I mean.
Not in the slightest.
Well, let's just say a bunch of angry knights after losing bets, being extremely drunk, soaring drowns. Does that paint a better picture?
Mm-hmm. None of that in here.
All that to say, yeah. Been there, done that as far as the escalating stuff, so. Who knows? We'll see. It's just good going to it.
He gives you a bit of a suspicious look. But
I
not enough
read
to,
his mind.
you still are. Just the general idea of this guy better not be fucking trouble. Or he'll have to talk to some people.
You mentioned the fight didn't start until they chose the new mayor, correct? Who was
Not
he running
quite.
against? Oh?
I said it unfortunate for Mr. Vorman if the fighting had started before the election. Vorman was promising to build a fort and start a militia. Former soldier type. Was also our he managed the colony in its early years. Helped set it up, helped build it up. We've been here for 20 total. And, well, those who suddenly have fortunes decided to go with a rich crony instead of the guy who helped them make their fortunes.
It's quite unfortunate, yeah. No problem like this arises, and the one with the fortune just doesn't know what to do, I take it.
Vorman was put in charge of the town guard. Hasn't quite been able to raise one yet. I wonder why.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, that's... Thanks for the chat. Well, actually, one more question. Just because the world's not gonna live there forever, but have any room? Well, does this place have a second floor or something? Or like a...
We do rent out room. We do have a common room for sailors. And people who haven't sobered up yet. Yeah. 2 of them.
Fair enough, in the event that I'm going to get to quite sort out and get a proper house or something.
There are plenty of common houses in the city, inns as well. We got a lot of sailors coming in. They're mostly towards the docks. Over here's the town market. So we tend to take care of the locals and those who want slightly better drinks.
Well, then, thanks for your patronage.
I still have some question. You mentioned some quote unquote rich people fighting over something?
The fight was a metaphor for the election. Actually, no, that wasn't it. Right, no, yeah, right. Fuck that bullshit.
Oh, I sense story.
Yeah, if you were wanting gossip. So, There's two families. Both have their money in farms or whatever. I think the Strocks have their coin in mills, actually. Anyone here who's got a big coin purse owns a mill, basically.
Hmm.
Anyway, how did it go? So, Norfolks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're from Easton. The Strocks, they're from here in Vrijehaven. The Norfolks, sold the Strocks a horse to make more horses. They have some mares, they had a stallion. They say the Strocks stole the horse and didn't pay them shit. The Strocks say they sold them a dead horse. And they were paid in advance. No one's sure which is true. No one really gives much of a shit except for those two. They're usually found shouting at each other somewhere or yelling at the mayor to solve the damn problem. Really, the issue is the head of the Strux, I think it is a prick. His son's trying to smooth things over. It ain't going well.
So what you're saying is, you hear screaming about a horse, just turn around.
Don't get involved, yeah. Not worth the bother.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, thank you for the story.
Right. The food was good. I think well, I know a place to point out that friend to sort that out. Yeah, well, I guess we'll take our leave for now. That's it.
You settle up the
We
boat. It's
just
small enough that you don't need to worry about it.
Alrighty. After that, just I'm assuming the I was trying to like listen to for information, but assuming the freaking whispers right now is about the Spanish Inquisition and the Lady in Red.
What do
That
I
or the
hear?
Knight Templar and the Lady in Red. Whichever knightly order you belong to, it varies depending on who's gossiping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Note to
Gonna nudge
self.
Christoph. Congratulations, you're a Knight Templar now.
Not you two. Just let's go.
Okay.
Right. So, is there anything else anyone would like to do tonight?
We gotta look for private rooms.
I just wanted to check on Mary, see what she's up to.
Evelyn, you wanted to check on Mary. Wouldn't Mary have gotten off the boat and started wandering around? I'm gonna roll a die here. Odds or evens?
Odds.
Okay. It takes you some time to track her down because when you get back to the docks, and ask after her, she's already gone off to explore the town a bit. Apparently, one of the sailors offering to escort her around.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait up for her there, you will find her. She will find her way back to you eventually. Or did you want to just try and like follow where she's gone and look after her?
Yeah, I might keep an eye on her.
Give me a wits and awareness.
Let me see. I should really get some awareness.
It takes a little bit, but eventually you find Mary in one of the side alleys between a pair of houses, and the way you find her is you hear a familiar noise. The stifled bliss of a mortal whose throat is stuck in the throes of the embrace, of the kiss. That choked, blissful, cut-off scream.
Is there anyone else around?
As you enter the alleyway, and you see Mary drinking one of the locals, what you assume is her ghoul, one of the sailors, watching the other alleyway as you come by. Her eyes shooting up at you like a predator's as she ends her meal and licks the wound close and sets the person down. Oh, Miss Evelyn, oh my, you caught me right in the middle of dinner.
Well,
Hi.
perhaps take a little more caution. It's good you had someone looking out, but you were not silent enough.
I'll be more careful then. I figured having George over there keep an eye out and bringing the bastard into these windy little back ways would have been enough, but, well, apparently
Small
not.
towns. Gossip will be very dangerous here.
Oh, don't you worry about that. This one's a drunk who tried to accost me, and that one, she points at her ghoul, beat the crap out of him into this alley. She smiles, for pausing, grabbing a handkerchief, and dabbing at her lips.
Well then. I just wanted to check what your plans were. Are you staying ashore tonight? Well, tomorrow?
No, I just wanted to get the lay of the land. Figure out who's what, and... But I'll leave most of that for whenever that, I'm drifting into Cockney. Not Cockney, of Irish, out of my Cockney. Well, I figured I'd get the lay of the land, and I'll figure out who's who, and what the whole structure's like. Once we get to that, mayor's bowl or whatever he's holding. Fathead types like that tend to, attract other fathead types, you know? So I figured that's a good time to... I'll figure out the plan is.
Yes, that seems reasonable. Well, I'll be staying on the ship for the day.
That's probably a good idea. I mean, George there's great bloke, but, all things considered, I don't want, anyone to get the wrong idea. Me and him shacking up in a single inn room the first moment we got off a boat. I mean, it's a sailor, and I'm a pretty young lady.
I'm glad you have your head on your shoulders.
You're right. If I want rumours of infidelity going around, I want them to be with someone important.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going back to the ship, Mary.
Oh, come now, Evelyn. I know your religious matters, and God's important and all that stuff, but we have to think of the long term. These sorts of things, I'm thinking about them. It's worth a little bit of bad gossip, if it means you get leverage.
Be careful with that line of reasoning. A woman's reputation once sullied is never truly clean again.
I suppose.
There are other ways to gain power.
God, it would all be a whole lot easier if we both had penises, wouldn't it? Men could cavort about as many pretty young ladies as they want, and they won't get an ounce of trouble about it. Meanwhile,
I've
I can
genuinely never been concerned with that.
I'll figure something out. I'll keep you all safe,
Right.
and I'll make you proud.
I trust you will. Well, I'm going back.
Oh, George! Would you look at that? Thank you so much for beating up this terrible thug. But would you like... It's Miss Evelyn. We ran into her, and you helped guard her, yeah? Yeah, I think I did. I think I did. Oh, you're such a good lad. You're gonna take us both back to the boat now, being a big strapping hero, yeah? Of course I will. Good lad, George. Lead the way. And George, the sailor, he sort of gives you a nod, Evelyn, and walks in front of you, and you can tell he's a little dazed. You're not
God
sure
bless you,
if
George.
you're not sure if Mary just fed on him or perhaps used one of her disciplines. But Mary seems to be in control of the situation and is very relaxed about it. As this larger sailor escorts the both of you back to the ship. Stepping back again, is there anything anyone else would like to do tonight?
Find a place to stay.
You're not going to stay at the boat?
I know. Just thought we stay in the boat.
I mean, we have a lead for like later, but today we might as well reconvene still.
Okay, back to the boat.
You all return to the ship. Spend much of the evening there, in case you wish to compare notes and speak to each other. But otherwise, I will move time forward.
Where's Benedict?
Also staying at the boat.
Sounds like we should call for a meeting. Oh, I also wonder what Claudio's gonna do. Oh, I gotta pay Claudio as well. Almost forgot.
So, Kimbertai, let's have that scene between you and Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
You find Claudio in his room. Most of his things put away into a large, heavy leather and wood box. Looks like he's ready to move out of the boat soon. Ish. Ah, Miss Kamrutai. Please, come in.
Hello. I'm walking.
Close the door behind you. So
Have
what can I do
you
for you this evening?
Have you checked out the town yet?
No, I was going to wait till morning for that. It's a bit easier for commerce and such things to flow when everyone's awake.
That's true. I would like to, you know, the blood.
Of course.
Yes,
You-
and
Good.
Since we're gonna be very very busy for a while, um, I don't wanna miss out. So perhaps maybe I can pay ahead of time.
That would be appreciated.
Okay. She's gonna bloop 3 dots.
3 dots. Oh wow. Okay. He was expecting 2.
Oh.
So after you fill up the second bottle, he looks at you with a crooked eyebrow and then just puts out another one.
And then when she's doing that, she's just gonna talk to him about. Oh, I think I learned something new.
Have you?
Yes, I can see ghosts without having to leave my body anymore.
You've gone down the path of necromancy.
I think.
Curious. I
Hmm.
wasn't aware that
That would
your
be.
clan knew of such magics.
Oh no! Oh no! I learned it from the ghost.
Well, who better to instruct on the arts of death than the dead?
Yes. I hope it will be really, really useful and help solving other spirit problems.
Well, this community has only existed for God knows how short of a time frame. There might not be any ghosts here yet.
That's true, but the boat will be here for another month. I I want to keep them company before the boat have to leave again.
Hmm.
What do you have any plan on how you're going to set up here?
That is the question, isn't it?
Hmm. That's it. The mayor invite us to his place in 2 days. I think that would be good for you. Also, they were talking about a lot of problem in this colony already. Like in the south, there were the natives attacking people, and there even rich family fighting each other over a horse.
Barbarians in the wilderness and noble petty squabbles, then? More things change.
Yes.
Well, regardless of what I choose to do, I must retain some proximity to at least one of you.
Hmm.
So, there's that.
Well,
I'd simply planned on initially. Well, actually, I'm not quite sure. I have not, well, had the self determination I now find myself with for centuries. There are a few
oh,
things I would like to do, but those require very old libraries that we left very far away from here.
oh,
I suppose that means I need money to get copies of very old books. So I'll start there, I suppose.
I mean, this boat is going back first, no? Maybe like you can have somebody pick up your old belonging from there.
Oh, no, you misunderstand.
Huh?
I own, no, I never, I haven't owned anything besides these clothes on my back since I was made a ghoul.
What? What?
Kemrutai, my master is very old. He looks upon ghouls, much like his servants, with lesser degrees of autonomy. What was mine was his, and what was mine was usually on loan from him. I was a servant for centuries, a few steps higher than a slave, only valued as such due to my expertise and the ages of my loyalty.
I'm sorry, but that is horrible.
Quite. It's all an interesting opportunity.
Hmm.
One I wish to extend as long as possible. That being said, I still know of individuals in Europa which are sources for literature of the subjects of which I am curious. It will be expensive, as I will need to go through proxies and have it brought here, and the resources that I look for themselves were never cheap. Hence, the desire to make money.
Well, the ship is waiting. The ship is leaving in a month, and until then, it will be about 5 years before we see anything. So, if if before the time run out, I wouldn't mind to help you with that for the fun to retrieve what you need.
Indeed.
She grins.
You are just such the helpful young lady, Kemurutai.
Ah.
How much of this is Kemurutai genuinely wanting to help? And how much of this is like Kem thinking that Claudio is a resource?
Just 100% I want to help.
He narrows his eyes at you a little bit, but then just sort of shrugs it all, the thought off. Whatever the thought was. Do take good care of yourself, Kemurutai. We have left a great many dangers behind, but just as we have crossed the sea, there is no uncertainty in my mind that dangers will be crossing it as well.
Yeah. A warrior already knew about a woman getting burned just because she was found dancing in the forest.
Witch hunters.
Huh?
Interesting. I'll keep my nose out of bounds.
Yeah, she's just got, after she's done paying up, she's not gonna bother him anymore. After she's done paying, she's not gonna bother him anymore.
Yeah. Did you all want to have a conversation about what you learned today, or anything like that, or should I move time forward?
We should call for a meeting.
Sure.
Vampire
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, to the box.
You all pile into what is the box, perhaps for the last time. This random one of your quarters, cramped and tight as it is, offering the privacy it does.
Alrighty. Just interesting little town. This already has a lot of well, I had a feeling it was gonna be boring, but no, there's a lot going on already, as it is. Wouldn't you say?
Well, yes. There's the political. I don't know if you'd call it a battle at this point. But, yes, there seem to be some conflicts between several different people. Some rich people fighting over a horse, and some travelers were attacked by some native people, not beyond the bounds of where was agreed that the settlers would not trespass.
Yeah, heard about that on the tavern. This, yeah. There seems to
Be
be
cautious.
animosity too about the mayor and, well, at least the tavern keep, but
Oh, yes. There's likely to be backers of the other side that lost, who are displeased. But be cautious when traveling to the south of this town.
sure thing. Seems too that there's going to be, well, there are a lot of communal houses towards the docks that are probably going to be unoccupied once the sailors, well, sail, you could say, get back to the sea. So that's an avenue that could be explored later. Still not sure as far as how to settle down, or avenues to settle down, you could say. Couldn't. Did, well, hell, next time I go into town, I'm gonna take the freaking armor off. That's for sure. I should have thought about that.
Look at that's weird.
Oh,
Apparently,
yes.
Kristoff is the Knight
Would
Templar
it-
now.
It would attract attention, yes.
Too much time into this thing. I want just too used to wearing it at this point. But whatever. Just, I guess they'll just just gotta blend in proper and not like have people freaking scream Spanish Inquisition when they see me.
I see.
Any idea about the produce of the colony by any chance? Just
There's good farming land. They make a lot of food. I've not heard any other particular specialties, but I assume that we have basic craftspeople. Was there something in particular you were looking for?
not necessarily. Not necessarily anything specific. Just good to know that the pigs will sell.
Yes. I'm sure they will.
Can we keep some for food?
You'll need to discuss with the captain. I don't know that he's had any instruction to hold any back. But, are you prepared to care for them? I don't know that your servant Lila is staying on.
Oh no. No, I told her to hold back though, for safety, until we learn more about this place.
Well, do keep in mind that pigs require care to remain alive. But you're upon land now. There are countless people to take just a little from. Have
I
you
suppose.
acquired a taste for pig? Evelyn's looking a bit disturbed.
No. It's weird. It's
What's weird?
just taking things from people, like, unwillingly.
Then find someone willing.
easy like back in London where I could just do my business and get blood for payment. Like, if I conduct that kind of business here, they will burn me. I'm pretty sure they will burn me.
It's too early to tell. Well, of course, if you do it on, like, let's say, right in the middle of the market, just that's next to a church, of course something like that's gonna happen, but hey, who knows?
If you know the right people, you will be protected from suspicion.
That's the thing, knowing the right people. Being
Meeting
new
with the
here.
mayor soon, perhaps you can convince him that you're worthy of his favor.
Perhaps.
He is a man of greed, a man of desire for material possessions. Perhaps you can convince him of your riches that will be returning with the ship in 5 years. Not a particularly prompt return, but I don't know, perhaps you have something of value now that you could dangle before his eyes.
You are right.
Even some fine skill. I don't know if you have any exotic weaving or talent such as that. Or
I can
simply be
try.
amusing. Be the life of the party. Amuse him. Allow him to enjoy your company. He may take a liking to you. Be charming.
We'll try.
Have you run into any issues ashore, Benedict?
None so far. I've only met up with the others that left the ship already. Along with meeting a new fellow that said that he would help me establish a boxing club. I've also found out the where the mayor resides. That's about it so far. I tried listening in for black market, but no luck so far. Looks like I'll have to keep the sword somewhere safe for now.
Black market in a place like this?
I doubt it will be recognizable to anyone here. Keep it hidden until the ship leaves, with the sailors that may have recognized it, but none others should. I doubt the passengers had much business with its former owner.
Well, if anything, if you do have a lead, I can help you get a lead there, because that sounds interesting.
Alright.
Well, know what I'm doing tomorrow, then.
If you get anywhere, let me know.
Sure thing.
Evelyn's been looking kind of distracted the whole time. Kind of staring off into space when she's not talking.
Are you okay, Evelyn?
Oh,
You seem
yes.
bothered.
It's, the religion here is strange.
How so?
So?
They keep the saints, but idolatry is a sin. They have no statues. They have no stained glass. No murals. The church looks like it's been stripped bare.
Huh.
Well, how is that a bad thing?
How can one know the awe of God without displays of human affection toward him beauty and craftsmanship.
And
It seems odd.
And you've confirmed that they're Catholic?
They're not.
Oh,
They have a vicar. But there is no king to enforce their religion, so I need not be concerned there.
Well, there's... gonna say, perhaps some convincing, but then again, with matters of belief and not the vet says.
I suppose if making a show of wealth, use caution. It may be frowned upon by some.
Noted. Although, might already be well. The locals don't know we're the owners of the ship, anyways.
Yes, I don't believe there is any concern of being lynched for having means, but just keep in mind that it may not be as normal or as comfortable to make a show of wealth around the common people.
Fair enough. And hey, who knows? Might eventually properly open a church that fits your beliefs around here.
Yes.
What do you think?
Perhaps a chapel connected to the convent. Though, of course, no one other than the nuns may enter the convent itself.
Interesting. He tilts his head to that front of it, just in like a mixture of curiosity of.
Are you not familiar with convents, Christoph?
Not quite, actually.
Let's see here. Is religion? No. You can roll me if you like intelligence plus academics. See what you know about the topic.
Oh boy, let's see. Yeah, I guess that's much.
What's a convent? Is it the opposite of a vexment?
It's a nun factory.
I don't know.
Convent is a place of contemplation and the Lord's work where nuns reside. Some produce wares, vestments for other clergy, or sometimes foodstuffs to be self-sustaining, and often a convent will have a particular mission, such as to pray for certain congregation or certain mission of another group of the Lord's servants.
Hmm.
Bit of a big takeaway is that it's roughly the female equivalent of a monastery.
Mm-hmm.
Only members of the monastery are typically around on monastery grounds, and they are. I don't want to use this term, but I'm gonna anyway. Gender locked.
Yep. Cloistered nuns.
Well, in due time, as I say. It's definitely, well, stone's definitely like in could use a few renovations, anyways.
I wonder how difficult stone is to come by here. Well, we shall have time to discover everything. Was there anything else to discuss?
I've got
Believe
nothing
that's
else.
it.
Kim?
She shook her head.
Very well. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
I'm gonna just roll a die real fast.
I will miss the box.
Okay. Looking at the time, we've been playing for about 2 hours, which means it's time for a break. We return the next night. It is now May 3rd. That's right, there's days now. The mayor is going to be holding a ball, a party, a ball, a soiree, some sort of get together for yourselves and notable figures on the 4th. It is the 3rd. And everyone make sure that you mark a point of blood and a point of willpower as you burn away at your reserves to sustain your eternal beings and rise from your sleep.
Oh yeah, I gotta do my roll.
Okay, you're fine for today.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So the sun once again sets the town of Vrijehaven. You all wake up in a very familiar set of quarters. The sloshing of the bay and the harbor, rousing you as you rouse from your slumbers. Let me ask real fast, is anyone at 8 or lower blood?
Nope.
Nope. 11.
Okay.
Nopers.
Then none of you are super hungry yet. But you are all keenly aware of your hunger as you rise from your slumber. The night is yours. What will you do? Is there anything anyone would like to do? Let's ask that instead.
Does the town, like the map of the town, are there other buildings? Or is it like open land where there's nothing pictured?
So these are all tight clusters of buildings. 2 or 3 buildings smashed together, or like a few of these are standalone structures. There are large spaces that don't have anything in them, or gardens taking up the empty space.
Okay.
Though past this road towards the center and the beach, it's mostly packed in. The largest amount of open space past this one main road is over here on the cliff overlooking the beach, and over here on a cliff overlooking a river. Also, this little island.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think if there's a good spot that would be good to try and buy or whatever.
Looking into purchasing land.
Or have donated for religious purposes.
Well, that is a question.
But also all of our wealth is going to be tied up in the ship, right?
Yeah. Currently, you're waiting on the deal with Captain O'Neill to go through. He's selling off most of the cargo hold and like converting your wealth, your physical stuff, the pigs, the finished goods, the nails, all that sort of stuff, into money that he's then going to give to you, and he's then going to take the time to buy wood, stone, metal, all other such things that are produced locally to put on the ship and then bring back.
Mm-hmm.
You could attempt to intervene and make that go faster.
No,
Give
it's
him the list by
it's
now,
just-
right?
The list of stuff you wanted for him to pick up from, not Thailand, because it's not Thailand yet.
Siam, like
Siam,
the list
yes.
that sells what would sell there, the resource to pick up there and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You could have given him that list by now, yeah. You had enough time in the evening, and you also wake up early enough in the morning, in the night, to have written all that down.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm more just kind of thinking, because I wasn't sure if we would get any money before like 5 years. I don't know how it's gonna work.
You're going to, after a couple of days, you're all going to receive a big pile of money.
Okay.
That's going to be effectively the fortune background, I think it is, or the wealth background.
Okay.
Ooh.
At a certain rating, and you'll have that, and it's going to basically remain static unless you do stuff to make it go up or down. But for right now, basically anywhere you go, you could theoretically like buy stuff based off the fact of the idea that, hey, I own this boat that just came in that's going to sell a lot of crap later. I'm good for it. Like you could hand out IOUs effectively.
Okay.
Like at this, especially tonight after the boat has been sitting in harbor for 2 days, everyone in town knows that there's a gaggle of odd individuals who are the owners of this ship that came into port looking to sell and buy a lot of stuff. So definitely persons of interest in that regard.
Okay. I wonder if there's any... Like, it depends, obviously, what we're going to try and do to sustain ourselves, what location I would want to have for a convent, but if it's going to have a cathedral attached, then that would be, or a church, then that would be, we want it to be accessible to the people of the town, not too far away.
I can zoom out to the regional map as well if you care for that.
Mm.
Because this is just the town, the town map. Vrijehaven has about, I'd say, 1,000, maybe 1,500 people in it. The region is closer to 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are all currently here in Vrijehaven. There's a bunch of small farm plots and farmsteads out west of it. Going further west, the next town over, Grunberg. I'm sorry. Again, my Discord members suggested these names, so I don't know how they're pronounced. Mostly, is a smaller community in terms of population, but way more farms. Bloodland Bend is another community that is further down. Again, fairly small, more logging. South of the river, there's a few logging camps and such with a mill. Easton Cliffs is the next largest town with its own small port. And way out to the west, there is Fantasia, which is another small community. Each of these communities is probably like between 1 and 200 people. And Vrijehaven is, again, about 1,500.
This squiggly mass is that forest?
Yeah, these are woods and forests.
Okay.
Each one of them. That's a river and ocean. These are hills, and yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And that is the general colony of Vrijehaven. Currently, land's pretty cheap, to be honest. After all, like literally in some communities, if you can clear it and put up a building, it's yours. So, you know.
What is the weather like? Can I find someone that knows, like, do they have storms and stuff that would batter seaside properties?
You could ask around about that. The captain might know fairly well, or you could look for a well-informed local.
I can try the captain first, and if he doesn't know, try someone else.
You go to speak to Captain O'Neill, and you see a individual leaving his quarters after having had a conversation of sorts. This gentleman. I cannot control him from that layer. This gentleman. You pass him as he gets onto the main deck and begins going down the gangplank. As you make your way to the captain. Captain O'Neill waving you over as you approach. Wait, 1 second. Just remembering his accent. He's North Country, therefore he sounds kind of like a pirate. Miss Evelyn, how are you today? This evening?
Well, quite well, thank you. How are you doing, Captain?
Well, when you load up with a boat full of goods in the middle of a port town, everyone thinks that, I've been busy, is what I'm going to say.
I imagine. I shan't take too much of your time, but I was curious if you know much of the area, the weather. I'm looking at perhaps acquiring some land. I want to know the suitability of whether I should avoid the shoreline or homes and such.
I've been to Vrijehaven once or twice. From what I understand, it's a pretty mild climate. Gets all 4 of the seasons. Summer, you can get the residue of the hurricanes from the Caribbean coming up this way. High winds and high rain, but not enough to tear down a building over.
Hmm.
Even you're concerned, building towards the cliffs facing the sea would be a bad idea. That's where they're going to get the hardest winds and the most rain. But you're also going to have this most sturdy, bedrock underneath the cliffs. That being said, from what I understand, the area around the cliffs, up and down the shoreline, are dotted with all manner of caves and coves. If that's a thing you're interested in. Land's also very fertile and good for farming out here. And have been demonstrated, considering the amount of grain and vegetables we're bringing aboard.
Yes. Interesting. Thank you.
Oh, one thing I was going to ask: did you want to keep the pigs? Because I've already got a buyer lined up. In case you don't.
Well, I had not thought we should, but let me have one more conversation with Kimbertai and confirm. She seems somewhat attached to them.
Very well. And speaking on behalf to Christoph, as I understand the horses are his, people have already been asking about them.
I believe he wishes to keep them, but I will inquire as well.
And a fine horse is a rarity in these parts.
Hmm.
Not anyone's been able to breed them yet. And they don't typically take the crossing as well as these two have.
Interesting. Perhaps he could stud them. Actually, I do not know if they're mares or...
Nor do I.
Well, I shall discuss with him and return to you tonight.
Very well. Be seeing you soon.
So I gotta go talk to Kim and Christoph.
You find them simply enough. Unless Christoph and Kim tie you, unless you wanted to run off on an adventure first thing in the evening.
I'll stick to Kristoff all the time.
He would. He would have been taking his armor off by now, just before actually going into adventure. He's still.
Kristoff, we should investigate the attack. I mean, we don't have to be there, but if close enough, I can project myself and find out what actually conspired there.
Huh. I mean, if you really want to do so, then I was thinking of trying to see if there was any sort of illicit activities already in town, but yeah, I guess the attack is something that's...
We can go with your plan first. Because, as far as I remember, it's somewhere out of this place, and I don't think we should venture out just yet.
Fair enough.
And I gave some thoughts on Evelyn's word last night. So, the mayor was expected to solve the rich people problem with the horse, right? What if we are able to solve it and gain his favor, or make him gain favor from one of the family? I think that would be useful for us.
Yes.
I just need to see them to find out who's lying.
Alright. Well, one thing is... Well, I was gonna say, like, one thing is finding out who's lying and then just convincing them to actually come forward, but I guess there's just one. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. If we get there.
Yes. Well, they're probably going to show up at the party, right?
And just most definitely. don't even need to ask. You just wait for the. Just wait for the two families that are shouting horse.
Yeah, that's right.
Evelyn, do you show up when he says horse?
You in Kristoff's room or something?
Yeah.
Okay, knock.
Oh, come in.
I'll enter and close the door. Good evening. Ah,
Oh, hello,
convenient. You're
Evelyn.
both here. I've just spoken with the captain. Kimmertai. He has a buyer for the pigs. May we?
Oh, I mean, yes, those are not my pig.
Well, if you wish to keep some, but as I said, you would need to care for them.
Yeah, but you're right. I need to adapt.
All right, I'll tell him to sell them. Kristoff, the captain has had inquiries about purchasing your horses. Obviously, if you wish to retain them, you may potentially make some funds from breeding them. I'm not sure if they're stallions or geldings or mares, but
That's interesting. Well,
apparently there's been no luck with breeding horses in the area.
really no. Well, if that is the case, then I think there is some purpose for us to sort that slight horse problem first, then, because I have a feeling that if one of the buyers happens to be someone in that family, then that horse's life is probably gonna be ending rather shortly.
Yes, well, I can tell the captain to hold off on any sales for now, and you will make a decision at a later date. Is it wise to keep them aboard the ship? Should we find them a stable?
I'll keep an eye, see if I find a good or just a place for them.
So currently,
Very well.
they're being kept on the docks. There's a pen there that they're being kept in. It's not like a open field or anything like that. It's just a fenced-off section of the wooden boardwalk where they're being penned in between that and the cliff.
Oh, babies. They need to be going for a run.
Yeah.
Same with the pigs.
Yeah.
Very well. I will inform the captain to sell the pigs and hold on the horses.
If anything, just encourage them to try to get a better price for the horses. Just
Yes, I can suggest that. I'm not sure what price he's been offered, but it does seem to be an in-demand asset at this point in time in this area.
it's demand indeed.
It would be harder to find a horse that is used to your presence, I would think.
Yeah. If anything, if worse comes to shove, I can still keep one and sell the other. But we'll see. It's still some figuring stuff out on this town, anyways.
Very well. I will inform the captain. And leave you to your night.
Sure thing. We were heading out actually. So you have yourself a good one then, I guess.
Very well. Take care.
Take care.
Evelyn will pass that on to the captain to sell the pigs and hold off on the horses, but it's not a no. It's maybe for the right price.
Very well, Captain O'Neill will hold your horses.
Thank you.
Right. Is there anything anyone would like to do in particular?
I guess is there like someone to inquire about land to? Would that just be the mayor?
Your first instinct would be to talk to the mayor about that, yes.
All right. I guess I can do that if he's available.
Anyone else?
Just strolling around to town, just surveying the land and just trying to find any sort of traces of like illicit activities, you could say.
Okay, so you're looking for crime.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll aid
Any
him.
particular kind of crime? Smuggling, mugging,
Smuggling for the most part.
okay. And Cam, you're gonna help with that?
Yeah, with Auspex.
Benedict, anything you would like to be doing today?
Yeah, I'd like to try to talk to the mayor about the establishing a boxing club.
Okay, I'm going to roll high and low. High, Kristoff. It'll be Kristoff and Kemrutai looking for smugglers. Low will be Benedict and Evelyn, going to the mayor's office. Low. So it's actually no, that's a 2, so that's low. That's gonna be Evelyn and Benedict first. So, let me just change the background of the music real fast. Where is my mouse cursor? There it is. Woo! As you arrive in a stately manner. One second, I added a couple of new songs to the soundtrack. No. Sure. Right, so, Evelyn, Benedict, the both of you arrive in the mayor's mansion about the same time as you head off at the same time. It is a stately building, one of the largest houses in town, if not the largest, overlooking the roiling coast and the harbor. It is made in a relatively contemporary, modern style for the time. Polished local wood, numerous brass candlestick holders, finery hither and thither all over the place, and lush red painted walls on the interior. The outside has a large garden, mostly covered with decorational plants rather than things to be eaten, though you haven't seen the back garden. Roses, various local flowers. It's very nice. It's very well taken care of. You are greeted by this gentleman as you approach. Sorry. They are tending to the front garden in in a set of, nice workers' clothes. Modern cut and style, though it's made out of rougher linens to be more durable. They see you coming and put down a rake and approach the grates. Hello. How can I help you?
Good evening. I am Sister Patricia, here to see the mayor, and to look to Benedict so he can announce himself.
Greetings. My name is Benedict. I'm here to talk to the mayor about establishing a boxing club.
You're both here to see Mr. Cameron, then.
Yes, correct.
That is correct.
All right. Give me a second to open the gate. He opens the gate, lets you in, and you see more or less this interior. Well lit. Again, very nice, polished, taken care of, kept very well. You do notice there is an awful lot of fire in here, as the room is lit by dozens upon dozens upon dozens of candles. I would like you to roll me. I'd like you to roll me. I believe it's a courage roll to avoid vampiric fear of fire.
Just straight courage.
Yep. These are only candles, though, so the difficulty is fairly low.
Okay. Don't fuck it up, Benedict.
That's a pass. That is also a pass. It is enough that the both of you flinch upon entering, but as the beast claws at the back of your head, screaming warnings of flame, your rational minds simply think, it's just a candle. Or a couple hundred candles. Christ, that's a lot of candles.
Dude's burning money.
As you are welcomed in, the servant who walks you in, looks at both of you and says, is there anything I could get you while you wait? Tea,
No,
coffee,
thank you.
cognac.
Thank you, but no.
No, nothing for me.
Very well. Mr. Cameron is probably in his drawing room. I'll go fetch him.
Thank you.
The gentleman, servant, vanishes into the various halls of the mansion. Before, at the top of the stairs, the familiar, somewhat portly and very well-dressed visage of Mayor Cameron appears, gradually making his way down to the ground floor to meet the both of you. Ah, yes. Sister Patricia and Mr. Flores? Yes?
Good evening,
That's
ma'am.
right.
Ah, yes. We've only met for a moment the other day, but I do not forget. A beautiful and a intriguing face such as yours. The both of you. Please make yourselves at home. I hope that my major domo, Mr. Yusuf, made you feel comfortable and greeted you properly.
Yes, certainly.
Indeed.
Grand. He's not a trained butler of the sort, but his situation, I could not but be urged to aid him in his circumstances. Is there anything
Charitable
I
of
can
you.
do?
Yes, I wondered if you might spare some advice regarding suitable land for a chapel and a convent.
Well, I suppose the trick of it would be to be close enough to the public that they could attend any sort of services at the chapel, but further away so you could build what you need and produce whatever it is produced in a convent.
Yes. We would need a way to sustain ourselves. Usually there is some crafting happening, either foodstuffs to be sold or vestments sewn and such to be shipped to another order, but I wondered, do you have much knowledge of the caves beneath the cliffs?
Not much of that so myself. A natural phenomenon that occurs in here to the waves, I'm told. The idea for a convent there, it is intriguing to me. I spent a great deal of my youth playing in the Caribbean, you see, and the colonies there. Well, it is a dreadful fate to be a orphan young woman in such places. If you are to struggle through to womanhood, you are then most likely to spend your adulthood upon your back, selling yourself to passing sailors. Avoiding such a fate would be of great service to the community here, if you were to provide such wayward souls.
Villain looks a little scandalized and crosses up and says, yes, that would be much preferable to any such life. My consideration for the cave system is perhaps if there are some caves nearer to the surface, they might be useful if I could find some skilled people to teach cheese making, and then we could utilize the caves for that purpose. It would mean not having to do so much work with building a basement if there is a natural, stable cave system.
Well, from what I understand, the dairy farmers, I don't remember the names off the top of my head, nice family though, they've already dug out a fairly large cellar. Although that is intriguing. The colony is mostly known for its food. I've been attempting to push us in the direction of cultural importance.
Yes, well, I am from France, so I suppose it would make sense.
You must never deprive a French person of their wine, their cheese, or their bread, I am told.
Quite.
Well, I have not done a formal survey of the sorts, though there are a number of explorative types in the area. Trappers, hunters, and the like, that I'm sure could be convinced to do a thorough looky-loo for a few coins. Though to my understanding, most of such cave systems exist near the shore itself, so that is a place you would wish to look first.
Yes, if you could put me in contact with such people that I may hire for the purpose, that would be most appreciated.
As far as the land itself, with the exception of plots within the very bounds of the township itself, which is more or less free and open to those who wish to claim it and can build atop it, it is merely a matter of signing the correct papers.
Very well.
Acquiring the material.
Are the boundaries of the town well marked?
Yes, they are. I have a few charters I could bring down.
So if you wouldn't mind.
Mr. Yusuf! You hear from a distance. Yes, sir. Please go to my room, find the scrolls. He rambles on for a bit, and he looks down. He looks over at you and says, Mr. Yusuf will be bringing them down shortly.
Thank you.
To go up and down these stairs too much at my age. Well, the sea is taking its toll.
Quite understandable, yes.
And you, Mr. Benedict, you are after your own purposes here, unless you are escorting the lovely sister.
Oh, please, you may take your time with that. However, I just wanted to ask how I should go about establishing a boxing club here.
A boxing club? In what regard? A place for gentlemen to exchange in the fisticuffs? He just sort of makes a couple of light jabs at the air, or something larger?
I'm thinking of starting small with just an exchange of fisticuffs. Maybe allow some townspeople to bet on it. Make a good profit out of it.
Hmm. Well, gambling is not against the town charter, from what I understand. Such a thing, one would merely need the building in which the meetings would be held. From what I understand, boxing, you need not much more than a circle in the dirt.
And that is all I ask for. I also believe that it would benefit your town in regards of entertainment and as well as some people settling affairs.
Um, hmm. Hmm. He's just sort of thinking this over a second. Well, rather, he's thinking of how to respond to that. Mr. Benedict, are you looking for merely a place for gentlemen to practice their fisticuffs, or a venue for the sport to be enacted in?
Oh, my apologies. Yes, I'm looking for a venue.
Ah, that is a bit bigger than a mere ring of dirt in the sand. Otherwise, I would say all you need is social club members and the gumption to do so. Much as the same with Sister Patricia, you'll merely need to stake out the plot and to build upon it. At this point, Yusuf comes down with the papers. It's basically the town map of Vrijehaven again. Vrijehaven. Where actually, I'll bring us back to the main map, and you can mark with like an X or whatever where you would like to set up, and he will quote at you a. Well, I'll tell you how difficult the rules are going to be, more or less, once you have the money. So I'm just going to quickly mark with like a little bit of yellow where the beach basically comes up to. Because that's basically going to be unbuildable land.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, unless it already has a building on top of it, it's up for grabs.
And the
Also,
cliffs
look
are on
over
the.
here where the cliffs sort of stop.
Yeah.
Because of the way the map is drawn, it's might be a little confusing.
Okay, so the cliffs are mostly. There's mostly land near the cliffs on the northeast.
Yeah, there's a large amount of open land on the cliffs to the northeast. There's a small sliver in the southeast.
That
This
small
sort of-
area, is that
sort of-
big enough
th-
for
this sort of area is currently mostly like mansions and large houses.
Mhm.
Depending on the size of the convent you want to make, like if you want to make a full big monastery, would be tight space. But if
Yeah.
you wanted the equivalent of a church and like an attached house and like a workshop, you could fit it into this general area.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to build a huge one yet. I could build a chapel and then have housing and then build a bigger actual full convent across the other side of the bay. But yeah, maybe it makes sense just to build where I intend to expand and just mark the area even though I'm not building the whole thing yet.
Yeah, you could effectively stake out the land for later development if you wanted.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See what they say about the caves.
The mayor personally doesn't know much, but, you know.
Yeah, the people that I'm going to pay to check them out.
So are you looking to build over here?
More like here. Oh, how do I ping it? I have to actually be
Cool.
on Roll20, not on Twitch.
So...
Oh, way up there.
Yep.
Okay,
then
perfect, because
you're
I
looking
was
to
planning to
build,
make it here.
like, around here?
Yeah.
Okay. And, Benedict, you're looking to build, like, right in this corner of town.
Yes.
So, Evelyn, that part of town would be relatively easy. Yeah. There's not a lot there right now. Like, you might have to negotiate over someone's back garden. That's about the worst of it.
Yeah, the idea is to have like a chapel that's facing the street and then the convent set back a little further but attached. So it could be pretty flexible in the shape.
So, like, maybe a chapel here and then, like, the convent here?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that... You'll basically have to negotiate over someone's back garden. And then, you know, the price of actually building the building. So depending on the initial scope and the final shape of it all, shouldn't be that hard. Benedict, the area you're looking at is a little... It's hotter real estate. Someone technically already owns the rights to it. They just haven't built anything there yet.
What the hell?
Probably just holding on to it to make someone else pay them out for it. It's that or they're waiting to get the money to build the mansion there. It's that sort of deal. You could get it, it'd be a little trickier. Basically, it'd be a slightly more difficult roll. Or, you know, vampires do have mind powers.
I commit.
Okay, well, that is about what you get from the mayor. The mayor mentions, oh yes, this bit of land here, that's being held by the so-and-sos. They're looking to build a fairly nice estate there. You'd have to negotiate with them over the exact ownership and what have you. Miss Patricia, the area you're looking after, well, I believe someone has a vegetable garden here, but other than that, it's largely unclaimed.
That sounds suitable. Well, once I understand the layout of the cave network, I can make more solid plans.
Quite. Other than that, I see no reason why I could not permit a sporting arena or a convent in the town.
Very gracious of you, sir.
He smiles, his mustache curling up as he does. Oh, and you are both attending the get-together I am hosting tomorrow, yes?
Yes, tomorrow
I've had
evening.
a number of interested parties from the entire colony deciding to come in to meet the new talk of the town, as it were.
Very kind of them. Shall look forward to it.
A number of folks are interested for numerous reasons. Another ship added to the comings and goings means more chance for commerce, and new faces with new ideas are always interesting.
I should hope the town is amenable to the ideas that I bring.
Of course. Of course. Is there anything else we can help you with?
That was all the business I had with you this evening. I shall not take any further of your time. Thank you again.
Yes, same here. Thank you very much for your time, Mir.
would you not like to stay for a bit of conversation? Or are you...
Well, if you have the time, I shouldn't like to hold you up. Have you other important business to attend?
Most of my business is concluded for the day. Honestly, you came at just the right time. I was about to not turn in for the evening, but stopped accepting callers for political reasons.
Hmm. Well, yes, I have some time to spare. What do you wish to speak?
Gladly.
Oh, both of you, of course. He goes on and begins to... I won't call it an interrogation. But he is actively, almost aggressively interested in the two of you, your story, where you came from, bits and pieces of interesting information, that sort of thing. How much do you indulge him?
Evelyn is old. She has a well-worn script for small talk about where she grew up in a small town in the south of France and losing her mother at a young age and joining the church and taking her vows and travel since, and she can talk to him about different cathedrals and rousing sermons and all that kind of stuff, just keeping it deeply buried in the religious.
Okay. So, he's attempting to get information out of you about, like, who you are, your intentions, and all that such.
Yes, who she is, unknown. Her intentions.
Evelyn-
Preach the word of God.
Evelyn, you are attempting to deflect the who with a well-worn script.
I mean, this is who she is.
Right.
Like, obviously, she's not going to be like, I'm a vampire, but this is who she genuinely is.
Right. But you're trying to, like, make sure that everything is consistent, that you're not letting on that you're older than you are, that you're not an undead bloodsucker who's fleeing from a vampire shadow war in England.
Yeah,
And Europe.
Generally, yeah.
So, I'm going to say charisma plus your call of performance or subterfuge.
Charisma.
And same goes to you, Benedict.
Okay.
This is a well-practiced individual, this sort of social, polite probing. How are you trying to keep him off of the fact that you are, in fact, a vampire?
It's announcing I'm also using willpower.
Okay. Also, like, how much do you want to keep back? In particular, Benedict.
I'll tell him that Benedict was a famous boxer back in his prime, and that after he has left that life for his wife, he is now, well, not wife, his beloved. He is now on a journey to search for that beloved of his who has disappeared one night.
Okay.
That's
not a lie. And you are letting on a couple of details there, so go ahead and roll me charisma plus expression, or... Yeah, charisma plus expression, I think. Or etiquette, your call.
Okay. I want to use a willpower for this too.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Evelyn, you managed to keep your story straight enough that he isn't able to poke any major holes in it. He is either not versed well enough in his history to realize that when you mention a certain cathedral, that like the opening of a certain cathedral, that it was like, wait, that was 50 years ago, and you still look young and pretty, or something like that, or like, oh yes, you met this painter when he was doing this commission. Just like, wait a minute, that guy is dead. They're again not versed well enough in their history to point out flaws like that or notice such things. They're mostly just impressed that you're so traveled and cultured. Benedict, with you, he's intrigued that you've come this far for your fiancée. As you are making your leave, your polite exit, he's makes an offer to put out feelers and messages to other colonies in the area to see if you can't find this woman for you, if you've come this far to find me.
Mayor Cameron, that would be a huge favor to me, if you would. Her name is Elizabeth.
Surname at all? Or if you don't know one off the top of your head, it's fine.
Yeah, out of character, I actually didn't think that far for it.
Yeah, you give her the full name and a description.
Yeah.
It says, Mr. Flores, your tale is an inspiring one of perseverance and true love. I'd be a bastard if I did not help. And while I am a bastard, I'm not that kind of a bastard. As much as the townsfolk, uncultured fucking swine, say that I am enough of this. It's getting my knuckles off.
You're very kind, sir.
I fully appreciate it. I feel indebted to you.
Think nothing of it. Although, if your fame does grow, put in a good word.
Of course.
I shan't keep you any further. Have a good evening.
You as
Thank
well.
you, sir, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Take good care.
Cutting away from the mayor's office, we find Kristoff and Kemutai moving about the town. You are attempting to find smugglers, criminals, that sort of dealio, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. How? What is your intent? How are you going about this process? How do you intend on finding people of ill repute in this regard? Are you just going down various alleyways, or like hugging the coastline looking for convenient places to hide stuff?
I'll let Kristoff point out any sussy people, and then I'll read their mind.
For the most part, just sticking to the smugglers in particular, sticking to the coast to like starting from the port, just looking out for any sort of interesting alleyways or just spots where stuff could be hidden. Yeah.
Right.
Or someone picking off something from a shady corner, for example.
Give me wits plus alertness. And then Kemutai, whatever Benedict finds, go ahead and roll your mind reading to see what you manage to uncover.
Okay.
Willpower.
Let me just double check aspects. That's
It's against the willpower of opponent.
yeah. I'm just seeing how many successes you got there. That's 1, 2, 3, 2. So that would get you second piece of basic information. Yeah, some surface thoughts, more or less. Some light ones. Okay. So, Kristoff, you hang around the docks for a bit, then make your way into town, and eventually you spot a few individuals here and there who seem to be, well, almost casing out the ship, waiting for someone. You point them at Kemrutai, and Kemrutai, you hear impatient thoughts. Things the effect of, they usually cut a deal faster than this. This is weird. Why am I waiting so long? I've got a whole ass shipment of wood that needs to get out of here if I'm gonna pay off that thing. That sort of deal. Like, impatient thoughts of moving stuff onto your ship, but from individuals who don't look like they're merchants or carrying large amounts of freight.
I'll relay that thought to Kristoff.
Well, that's as good start as it gets, I guess. Just probably two desperate persons, but hey, what's a criminal anyways? Let's see if they're. Gustav would just decide to tell them then to see if by any chance they're just desperate or if there's company.
Yeah.
Will you approach one of these guys?
Not necessarily approaching them, just talking them at this point, just at a distance.
How long do you watch them?
If they're just staring at the ship for like, I don't know, 30 minutes. Before.
Right. That's weird. They're still just sort of there watching it. Eventually, one of them does push themselves off of like the crate they've been leaning up against and start walking back in towards town.
And they just left their crates here? Is that their crates or just
It doesn't
crates
look like
on...
it was one of theirs.
Huh. Should we follow him?
Tell you what, you can talk to that one. I can follow the other.
Wait, there's the others?
There were two, no?
Yeah, there were about
no?
2 people watching the ship.
Oh, okay. Okay, Okay, I'll go after the other one then. Wait,
Okay,
who's doing the stalking and who's doing the waiting?
You can go. You can just wait or go talk to that one over there. Just I don't know. Just negotiate or something. I can just go stalk the other guy that left off.
Oh, all right. I can do this. I can do this. Just gonna go. Try to approach the one who's still waiting.
Okay, you do. You see a gentleman, not particularly well dressed, but they're not like poor by any means of looking their clothes. It looks like they work for a living, more or less. But like they're wearing okay clothing. It's a little worn out. If you get that sort of vibe. They're just sort of leaning against. They're just sort of sitting at the edge of the dock, looking over at the ship, looking back at the town, looking over back to the ship, back to the town. Looks like they're
Is he the one
pretending
with
to
the
fish.
thoughts?
Yeah, they
Is
were
he
the
the
one
one with
who's
the
thinking
thoughts?
about like, what's taking so long? I need to move this wood to pay that stuff off. That's the person who's like sitting there when you're approaching.
Hello.
Can I help you?
I see you were looking at my ship for a while now. Is there anything I
That's-
can help you with?
It's your ship.
Yeah, mine and my other colleagues.
No, I don't think you can help. I'm just fishing, you know, for fun.
Was it his mine?
Your mind reading has basically gotten as much as you can out of him at this point. His defenses are up.
Oh, really? Oh. Like, I mean, we're looking for people to trade with, and I thought you have something, cause, yeah, I was just walking, relaxing, and I just saw you keep staring at our ship.
Well, I do have some goods that could be transported back to Europe. If this should go to the harbor master, not you know.
Well, it depends. But everything has to go through the harbor master, right?
Kamrutai, are you trying to get this guy to agree to illegally transport goods onto your boat?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll me a leadership plus streetwise.
Leadership 0, streetwise 0.
Wait, no, look at charisma and streetwise. My bad.
Okay, just charisma. What?
Look, I don't handle this sort of thing myself. They should have already talked to your ship's captain about this sort of thing. I just, you know,
Well, the
get my
captain worked
stuff
for
to the
me.
guy and... But you should. Go to the Darrow Common House. It's the tavern by the market. And you should find him there if he's not already over there. And he just jerks his head towards your ship.
What does he look like in particular?
Short hair, sharp features, black hair. As the DM pulls up a portrait real fast. Short black hair, widow's peak, brown eyes, high cheekbones. He owns the tavern.
Is that Mr. Door?
Darrow, yes.
Oh, him. Oh, I see. Well, that would be easier then.
He makes it much easier to, you know, work a deal or two.
Alright. Should I tell him who sent me?
No.
Okie dokie. Well, you know, if there's this sort of deal, like, don't be afraid to contact us.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, just going fishing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, take care.
He continues to pretend to fish.
Alright,
Cutting
yeah.
over to Kristoff. Kristoff, you've been following this guy for a little bit. Up the docks, back towards town. He's paranoid enough to look over his shoulder once or twice. Are you trying to hide?
Yeah. Just not to check, not to. If he sees me, he'll probably going somewhere else. Kind of thing.
Hmm. Right. Go ahead and give me a dexterity plus stealth. Just see how well you manage to stay out of sight. Yes.
Damn.
The 2 10s were just did it. So you managed to follow the man all the way through town. Basically. You could follow this man to his home if you wanted, without him noticing you. Yeah.
Oh, did
Would
they
you like to
go?
approach him at any sort point in time, or
They're just strolling around, or just?
they're occasionally glancing over their shoulders. They're going through the occasional alleyway and side street on their way somewhere.
Well, and guess just approaching them at some of the alleyways, then.
Okay. Oh, that's an old portrait that doesn't need to be there anymore.
Uh-oh.
Madam Lagora, you found a werewolf in this random town.
Alrighty, I turn around.
What? I thought we left them behind.
You did.
For how long?
So yeah, you approach him in an alley as he's, going wherever he's going. How do you make yourself known? What do you do?
Just quite. Just tap him on the shoulder.
He whips around, startled at you tapping on the shoulder, and pulls a knife for a second. Oh, fuck. I mean, who are you?
Oh, just a friendly tourist that was looking their way.
A tourist?
Yeah, the kind that is wealthy and might own a vault.
Okay. English
No.
isn't my first language. Speak plain, please.
Sure thing. I saw you starting at the vault. What do you want with it?
I wasn't staring at the boat. Why are you staring at me?
One has to protect their investments, no?
She looks down at the knife. Yes?
Exactly. So, I'll ask it again. What were you looking for?
What's your tact here? Are you trying to intimidate him? Are you just
At
trying to
this
get him
point,
to...
in this case, since he pulled a knife, it's just politely, he will politely just show the sword side, as in, don't fucking try it, kind of thing. So
politely
yeah,
but firmly demanding he tell you what was up. Okay.
yep.
I'm gonna say that'll be charisma plus intimidation. That's 3 successes. This man has decent courage, I think. That's a 1, so it's gonna fuck up that roll pretty bad. Okay. He puts his knife away. I was just, making sure that you'd been contacted. Or at least the captain had been contacted about a thing.
And, we have something in common. English is also not my first language, so make it clear.
You know how taxes are bullshit?
I'm aware.
We got a way of getting around that a little bit. But there's a guy who does it for most people. I was making sure he already told your guy about the tax fuckery.
Now you're speaking my language.
So is your captain on board with the...
Well, Dad, he has not had such a conversation with us, so... just yet. So can't really answer you that. Let's say he's on board. Where do I get that? Let's say if he was on board. Where do we bring the news?
Well, then
If
I
any.
bring the news to my guy that your guy is gonna, make a bunch of goods not go through the portmaster. And just show up on your boat. And then money would show up in my lap.
Oh no, only on your lap. Well,
I'd be the one selling. You would be the one with the goods in your boat.
yeah, just as right. Alrighty, see, just friendly conversations stuff. Just I do have to say, be careful who you point that knife to next time. You never know.
Sure. Don't sneak up on people like that.
No promises. We just walk away, then towards the boat again.
Yeah, you run into Kemutai. Yes, you do.
Oh, hello again.
Oh, hey.
So, what did you find out?
That they apparently already contacted our captain about
Oh,
their shipment.
guess who's contacting our captain about it?
Didn't quite get a name, so...
Tavern owner. Yeah, so I was thinking we should totally pay him a visit.
Sure thing.
Yes. Let's go.
To the tavern it is.
All right. You head to the tavern. You see this gentleman tending to his business. It is getting later in the evening, probably around 10:30. The tavern is, at this point, draining of individuals. Yeah. Less and less folk here. Perhaps the two of you, the tavern owner, and maybe 2, 3 others who are pretty deep into their cups at this point.
Hello, Mr. Darrow.
Oh, you two again.
Yes.
Good evening.
So, another cup of water and the stew, or,
Actually, we were hoping we can talk to you in private.
He glances about. What's this about?
About, how we dislike taxes?
He raises an eyebrow. Alright, you drunks, we're closed. Not you. He points at a particular individual at the end of the bar, as most people shuffle out except for that one individual who leans back on his stool and looks at the two of you.
Can I read his mind?
Sure, you may attempt to read the man's mind who's staying behind. Or the other man's, or the bar owner's mind, if you'd like.
Uh,
Mr. Darrow's mind.
I'll take Mr. Darrow. Easiest target right now.
Okay. That's you get a surface thoughts, and you go relatively deep. Yeah. What do you?
What is his game here?
You hear this general notion running through his head. These two had better not be trouble. We'll manage to convince their captain is on board yet. I wonder if he's still got his gun on him or his knife. Useful either way. These two better not be trouble.
He just smile.
You also see flashes of a there's no two ways about it. A blunderbuss underneath the bar. Like an old times shotgun.
I will use my telepathy to send a message to Kristoff saying that there's a blunderbuss under the bar. That would spend a wheel point, and I have to roll for SMS.
With that little difficulty,
I think Kristoff willpower is what, 4, right? 4, 3.
Right now it's 3.
Yep.
Or is it
Current
max
power.
willpower or
It's
current?
current.
Current.
3.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 successes. Yeah, you can communicate to him pretty well. If you want to figure out who it is, perception plus awareness. Although, who else do you know who can talk to you in your head? So.
Yeah.
The fact that you know one person that talks to in people's heads narrows it down rather quickly. The fact that the voice has Kemrutai's voice finishes the suspicions.
After getting after getting a message, he was about to sit down, but he just stands instead. Just
No,
So,
ready.
no need to be so alarmed. We here to do business.
so, you know that I coordinate the local
And now,
under the
Captain.
table trade.
Or so we've eavesdropped, yes.
Yes, and we think that maybe we could form a very beneficial long-term partnership.
Do you now?
She grins.
So, you're aware that your captain told me in polite terms to fuck off.
And now, Captain, work for us. We have our method of convincing.
Mm-hmm. So,
So, she look at Kristoff because Kristoff the one looking for like shady people.
Well, for the most part, we were looking for the way of the lands. If um, that said, if you really had to, we could try to convince him a little bit to be a little bit more lenient about the cargo, of course. Otherwise, well, we can. It's not really otherwise. It can definitely be arranged as long as it's worth a while.
well, this is how it normally works. I slip a couple of boys some coin to make sure that the harbor master stamp goes missing for an hour or two while he's drunk up here. They then get some rowboats and pop into some caves up and down the coast where some goods have been marked and left. They bring them onto your boat while the boys are probably at home asleep. We then scribble a line or two down on the official charters, stamp them, put the stamp back, put the boats back, and you, in this case, pay us for what went on your boat, and no one has to put up with the Republic's interference in the local economy. Sometimes this also means objects of dubious legality get put on a ship. Sometimes this means a local monopoly gets violated. On rare occasions, it means that someone who what's your stance on slavery?
Rather not.
Looks at Kim.
What he say?
Great, you'll be happy about this bit then. Sometimes it means that when someone's in bondage on a boat, they disappear from that boat. And they come onto land where that stuff is illegal. We then pair them up with a servitude contract, meaning that they are legally contracted to work a period of time, and they can't be brought back to slavery no more. So long as they're under that contract. Person who pays them gets a servant for a few years. Person who should never have been taken away from wherever the fuck they were from gets to go free after a few years of work. Everybody wins except Rick with the boat. And sometimes that also means someone whose service contract is run up gets put on a ship and sent far away from whatever fucker owned him. Everybody wins. Except the guy who lost a person, which shouldn't have been owned in the first place.
Huh.
What do you think, Christoph? I
We don't
think
do that
should
one
deal
too
with
often.
people.
Not a lot of people dumb enough to bring an enslaved man into a territory where slavery is illegal. But it happens. Mostly just the keeping the government out of our pockets bit.
Understandable. So, well, as you may understand, I wanted to make direct contact because, yeah, this had a feeling that this sort of thing was immediately taken off the table from the options. Well, due to the nature of it.
Honestly, I was going to talk to the nun about this during the party. I'm invited after all. And,
Are you?
I'm a local businessman of some standing.
I'll tell you what, we'll just bring it in earlier. I guess we can bring it up to a little bit earlier than that.
Well, in all honesty, a business partner, a bigger interest in the whole thing, was going to bring it up, but same thing. So the two of you are on board then.
Don't see no problem with it so far. Looks okay.
Goods are okay, people.
So yeah, I'm on board as long as it's not caking, I guess. The cargo, that is.
Right then.
What is he thinking?
He's
when
thinking,
he heard it?
I'm gonna make. I gotta do something to make sure these folks are telling the truth. I gotta do a thing. And he begins to reach under his counter.
The moment he does, he will pull. Well, Crystal would just ready up to see exactly what he's bringing. If he sees too much wood, he will just reach out.
When do I see any image in his head of what he's aiming to reach out?
You rolled pretty well earlier. I'm gonna make this a roll because he's got a few thoughts running through his head at the same time.
Okay.
Give me a wits plus empathy here. The difficulty is lowered than it normally would be because of your aspects, and the fact that you're literally seeing his thoughts here, it's just making sense of them. -1, 0. -1, 0, 1, 2 successes.
Does it have anything to do with lie? Oh no, doesn't matter anyway.
No, a flash of the gun does flash through his head for a moment, but the thought of, like, sailor's proof or something like that sticks in his head as he's mostly thinking about a bottle. And Kristoff, you watch him carefully and closely as he reaches in the cabinet, bending over slightly. One arm goes under, slowly comes back out with a bottle of liquor. Brown bottle, opaque. As he pours this really dark booze into a trio of glasses. If you're with me on this, we can all leave here tonight and set this up for further discussion once you're done talking to your captain, right after we swear on it on a swig of this. And he taps the bottle against the table again.
What is this?
That is the distilled dregs of every bottle of liquor I've had here in a month.
Is he speaking the truth?
Oh yeah, it's actually worse than that. It's a year. He distills it down. It's an old sailor's thing to get the truth out of someone, to drink a very, very powerful spirit and then see if the dishonesty tumbles out. Basically, if you puke, he knows you're lying in his head. And he has made particularly potent elixir of truth here in his mind with this old superstition.
I don't have to drink this, right?
No, you do.
Blech.
Oh no. Cheers. It just, as Kristoff just, if it's already poured down, he just grabs one, just smells it before he goes down.
Okay, so you're a vampire. You're immune to being poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
But you are still... So, Kristoff, you drink this no problem. Because you're immune to being poisoned. You can taste it, though. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's like... It's like drinking a stale, super strong Long Island iced tea. Like, the Coke they put, like, the splash of Coke they put in it went off, and the rum is extra funky, and it's really cheap vodka, and, like, everything else in there is cheap and ultra strong, and blech. Tastes terrible going down.
Ugh.
Kemrutai, this feels like you're pouring sludge down your throat.
Oh, she hasn't drunk yet. She hasn't drank it yet.
Oh, okay.
She's gonna try to talk her way out of this.
What do you say?
Uh.
He sees you whinging and he slugs it back himself. Ugh. You're
Really down.
It's a good one. Ah.
Yes, it is.
This
Yeah.
is right out of him.
What are you thinking? Offering this kind of drink to a lady? Are you out of your mind?
Roll me manipulation plus etiquette.
Oh shit! 1, 3.
I think this is in your strong suit too. Like, I mean, that's 2 successes. You're right. You're right. Apologize, man. He just grabs your glass and yeets it out the window. Not the glass, the liquor. Turns back around, just grabs a bottle of red wine and pours it into a cup. Much more appropriate.
She'll pretend that she takes a sip.
Dexterity plus sleight of hand.
Oh!
Wait, there was no sleight of hand. Dexterity plus your choice of streetwise or stealth.
I got stealth. Oh, thank God. Ooh.
That's 2 successes. I mean, this man just imbibed poison. I'm gonna take one of his die away. And roll it just to see if it was a good roll. It was not. Okay. He retches a little bit as you pull a quick one, tilt your head back, tilt the cup back, and just yeet the cup empty onto the ground behind you. Just a quick splash over the shoulder. While you tilt your head back. Well then, I'm going to go lay down before I vomit.
Understandable.
You two get home safely. Carl, lock the front door after them. Have
Good.
luck convincing your captain to stop being a prick.
Have good luck getting to bed. Like, shit, god damn.
It's just polite face palm.
Right. With that, I will be calling it an evening, though, as we are a little past 4 hours, and